Alright, today we're going to do something I'm going to call a home invasion giveaway. I'm going to drop by 3 random people's houses from my guild, take a look around, maybe critique them a little bit, see what's going on, and at the end I'm going to pick my favorite of 3 and I will be sending the winner 50,000 gold. So here we go. I'm going to open up my guild tab and just randomly pick and see what we get. First one, I can't visit. We'll try something else. Alright, so this is a Twin Archer's house. This is in Bankerai. Nothing terribly striking going on the outside, other than this big armored cat here. Banker, little crafting station. The enchanting table is turned backwards, unless it's meant to be used from over here. Yeah, I'm going with it's turned backwards. Um, which is fine if you like that sort of thing. Cooking fire. Again, really not a lot going on the outside. Let's check the inside. And the inside is quite empty. We've got a floating Dwemer spider bust. We've got a painting, which is also floating by quite a bit. A floating runestone that's maybe supposed to be on the floor. Clearly this is a house that a person just bought. Hasn't really gotten into the serious decorating of just yet. Everything that's in here is just thrown. If this house wins, I will probably cry myself to sleep tonight. So without further ado, I think we're going to go ahead and exit this home and we'll randomly pick another and see where it takes us. Nice, looks like we're being taken to Earth Tear Cavern. This is in Craglorn. This is one of the houses that can only be purchased in the Crown Store. This is a house that is always available in the Crown Store, at least for the time being. It may rotate out in the future, but that remains to be seen. Alright, this house has a naturally kind of striking entrance anyway. Can definitely see some modifications. These lanterns are not default. Leastway is not in the cavern itself. Perhaps in the furnished version? I actually do not know. But looking over there, we see a bunch of busts lined up neatly. So we can tell that some care has been given. Got our merchant and banker, some cats hanging out here. Fire pit. Target skeleton here, target skeleton there. Jester's banner. Here's the lineup of busts. This actually looks like the, if not the full collection, pretty close to. Perhaps missing 1 or 2 trial busts, if I had to guess. While this isn't the most creative display I've seen of busts, it is done very neatly, very intentionally. It's, you know, not just thrown, very carefully placed, so I do like that. This house does have a lot of empty space, which is typical. There's still a lot more to see though. We'll see if they haven't done something else off on one of these islands or perhaps around the back. So we're not seeing anything out here. We'll head back into the mainland. There's a section of the cave that goes back around behind the entrance. We'll see if any decorating's been done there. So we'll get some more lanterns. It's a good sign. We might actually see something back here. Just some lighting items. And at a guess, this amount of lighting, with the exception of maybe these standing lanterns, maybe the exception of, this looks like just default lighting that may or may not have been moved from its default spot. So not a lot going on in this house yet. Again, another house that's just been bought. A couple of useful things have been thrown into it. I'm sure the person has every intention to decorate it, but a house like this does take a lot of time and investment. But unfortunately, there's not a lot here to see. So we will try again and look for a house that will hopefully wow us. If we can find a house that's open. It looks like we're being taken to Strident Springs. This is in Reaper's March. Khajiit House. And as we get fully loaded in here, we can see that right off the bat, quite a bit has been done in this house. This tree with the lights arranged on it. Can tell a lot of care has been given to the arrangement of the lights at various levels and nicely spaced, seemingly connected. This light here, the chain arguably doesn't really connect to real branch or anything, but it looks good, and it's a really close look, and thinking about it too hard that makes it seem less good, but it's good. You get this wood elf throne here hanging from a tree, which is really cool. Busts here, you got the wedding trellis, wedding curtain, and a little shrine in there. Flowers in a vase, very nice. This keg's really cool. This comes from the Gold Coast, the Dark Brotherhood DLC zone. You can actually open it up and close it. It's meant to be like a hidden passage. Can't actually go into it, but it's still a neat little furnishing nonetheless. Got a nice little display here, the stone with carvings and the blue wedding blossoms, which provide some light. Some pets flying around, these Nixad fairy type things. Over here we've got what appears to be a shrine to Hercene, and some wolf pups. Lots of dog type creatures here. It's definitely very wolfy, very Hercene, very well done. This cave portion here is not default to this housing. These rocks were clearly stacked by the owner of this house. Um, Very nice work there because despite not being default aspect of the house, if you had never visited this house, you would not know that. The rocks are very well placed. They're just very good looking. And over here we've got some coral and things in the water, which is, you know, where coral and sponges and things like that go. We've got this. Ah, I thought that was a floating orb of some sort in the water, but that is actually essentially a brazier turned sideways behind the waterfall. Um, I'm gonna go on a limb and say it looks probably a little better during the nighttime. Likely lights up the water a bit. In the daytime, it looks a little bit strange. Definitely catches the eye, though. And around behind here, we've got wood elf hearth with the cooking fire set into it, which is kind of clever, actually. It makes a lot of sense. And a little display here and provisioning sign. Dye station, well, good stuff. And we'll go into the house in a moment. Finish touring the outside here. We've got totem, little blacksmithing area set up here with this brazier, which gives the appearance of a kind of a forge fire, and of course the blacksmithing station itself. We got some hedges over here, glow bushes. These were a nice item on the luxury furniture a few weeks ago. Plants that glow definitely scored big points with me. Very exciting stuff. Got a tombstone here and some glow coming up from the void blossoms here. Glow is not native to the void blossoms themselves. It looks like the glow from a skull, the exact name of which I can't remember. I believe it comes from Green Shade though, the achievement vendor. It's a nice ethereal glow. It's a really good touch there. Then we've got this gibbet in the tree, so this is kind of a bit of a morbid area. Torture and death and things like that. But it's well composed and looks nice, so you think about it too much and get that burning oil dumped on your head while you're in the cage. This is horrible. I mean, it's wonderful, but this is horrible. Very nice job on the outside of this house. Let's take a peek and see what they've got going on the inside. And we've got some shrubberies and some jars here, just nice. And this little corner here is nicely set up. It's a little enchanting area, so we like that. We got a clothe your sign here, so I'm assuming we're going to find our clothing station in here somewhere. There it is. Surrounded by baskets. I love these baskets. You can actually hop inside these baskets and go into sneak, and you kind of disappear into the basket if you don't have a weapon, big staff on like I do. So that's kind of fun. And chest, and lots of tapestries and yes, well, tapestries hanging on the walls. Lots of excessive amounts of rugs on the floor, which is perfectly well done. I mean, this is the spot you would craft those things, so they're just displayed. And though they're unorganized, the disorganization is done very neatly. It's very intentional, purposeful, and frankly, it looks kind of cool. So very well done. We've got this rack with some pelts on it. Very nicely done clothing area. And we've got, I believe this was another wedding item here that apparently you can bounce through. We could walk straight through it even. Interesting. It looks nice anyway. Let's take a look upstairs. The Cragorn Skull. This was an item just last week on the luxury furniture. Goes really well on stone walls, and that is why we see it displayed on a stone wall. It blends right in. It's beautiful. And we have a Shrine to Mara here, surrounded by some wedding blossoms and some cushions, so kind of a little ceremonial area or area for quiet prayer, perhaps. We've got a big orcish tapestry here, or I believe it's orcish. It appears to be orcish in style. We got some busts, well placed. Don't see any floating going on. And this looks like this will be an alchemy area here. I see another glow bush. Lots of plants on racks. Wedding blossoms on the ceiling. Clever, gives nice lighting to the room. Really nice lighting. The glow bush and the wedding blossoms really pull this room together. Amazing. Poison Maker's cabinet. Of course, you got your alchemy station right here. Nice cactus in a appropriately sized jar. A well thought out room. I didn't even notice this before. This is a high elf streetlight. It would typically be outdoors, but they've put it very neatly and very carefully onto this corner here, and it actually looks really good, even as a one of. Personally, I'd probably go with 4 of them, but I'm a little bit crazy and over the top like that. But this one looks really good, and it really provides nice light for this corner. So again, that's very intentional, very well thought out. And this room here, we've got a couple thrones, just being used as chairs really. This is clearly not a throne room. And a stack of books, and a mug, and a pot, and looks like a very comfortable little sitting area. And we got the bed here, and of course a bed stand. Nothing too exciting in here, but it is very neat, very nicely done. Oh, totally missed this one here. We've got a more than just a study. At a quick glance, it looks like a study, but closer look, this is a almost like a Dark Brotherhood sanctuary kind of room going on here. We've got the ledger, and of course the Dark Brotherhood banner. Lantern of Anguish, which isn't specifically Dark Brotherhood, but fits the theme perfectly. This Sanctuary Sconce, however, is Dark Brotherhood. This is a craft bag here, which isn't really Dark Brotherhood specific, but it looks like something the Dark Brotherhood might carry. You see a lot of vials and potions and a goblet, perhaps to pour poison in. I guess a hammer to bludgeon someone's skull. Why not? That's very neat, and I believe that's it. I believe we've hit all aspects of this home. Given that the other 2 houses I picked were extremely bare, this one was the clear winner about 5 seconds in. But we wanted to give it a nice look around and do it justice. Like I said, very beautiful house, and apparently somebody else is visiting now. So anyway, this is going to be the winning house for the very first time doing the home invasion giveaway, as I'm calling it. I'm going to be doing these for the next 7 days at the very least. If they go well, I may continue them, and I may expand them beyond just my main guild, which is Tenacious Deals, to include all the guilds that I'm in, so I may start picking from a larger pool of people. This one was being done completely not to the knowledge of anybody. They're not going to know that this happened until I post the video, and that'll be sending mail out. Going forward, people are going to be aware that this could happen, So I'm expecting in the future to see more houses well decorated, or leaseways, the houses that aren't decorated, I might expect to see them closed off to us so that we don't end up in them. Um, that being said, at least we did get one excellent house to look at today, and I hope you will come back and see what we have to look at tomorrow.